Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have another cook with me video. I just want you guys to keep in mind, I do not consider myself a fabulous cook by any means. I'm a work in progress. I don't enjoy cooking. I don't consider myself a good cook. And this is a discussion that I have with a friend of mine all the time. She's like, oh, if you make the right recipes, blah, 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 it can be enjoyable. I disagree. Her and I argue about that all the time. I think you either enjoy cooking or you don't. You're either good at it or you're not. Yes, you can learn to be decent, but for me personally, it does not come naturally. I know how to cook a few things really well, but anything out of that, it may or may not even turn out. So, you know, what are you going to do? But I'm trying to show you guys that when I cook from my pantry and from my freezer, and I am doing a pantry freezer challenge. I have since the beginning of the year, and with everything that's going on, it just kind of fits in with that. So not going to the store and all that, which is fine because I have a ton of stuff. And everything I'm going to show you guys, I think I got for free except for one of the items, and I'll show you that. But tonight I am making sloppy joes. And when I make something, I make it not just for the evening, but to eat for a few days. And then if I get sick of it or if I make too much, then I do put it in the freezer. And then that way, that's a quick and easy meal that you can just defrost another time. So I'm going to show you guys what we're cooking. Okay, guys, so I am chopping up some vegetables. These are some carrots that I got a while back. I think I paid 89 cents or $1 or something for the pound of carrots. And the peppers I got for free. And the onion I got for free. All I have left is a half of an onion. Now what I do is I'm cutting up the carrots and I'm putting them in a container, and then they're going to go in my freezer, and I will use them for different recipes. And then in here, I am going to put the scraps so that later on I can make broth with the vegetable scraps. And the onion and the peppers are actually going to go for a recipe that I'm making tomorrow. But since I'm cutting up the carrots, I figured I'd cut them all up together, and then the scraps from the peppers and the onion can go in here with the carrots. So this is everything already cut up and prepped. So these are carrots, and they're going to go into my freezer. And this is some of the onion that's going into my freezer. And then these are just scraps, again, that will go in the freezer. And then once I have a bunch of bones and vegetable scraps, I will make a broth. And then this is onions and 2 types of peppers. And this is for a meal I am making tomorrow. So this is what I do. I really try not to waste anything, but this is a good way if you somehow get fruits and vegetables, in this case just vegetables. Maybe you bought too much, or maybe you're not eating as much as you thought, or maybe someone gave you stuff, or you went dumpster diving or went to the farmer's market and got a great deal. Whatever it might be, there's always a way to stretch the vegetables and to use them all up. Nothing got thrown away. There is no scraps whatsoever in my trash can of any of this from tonight. It's all being utilized. So tonight we are going to cook up this ground turkey. I got this for free from volunteering at the food pantry. In here is onions and 2 different types of peppers. I actually got these for free. This was for free, and I think I paid $1 for this at a local store. And then I also have this big can of green beans. The last time I went to the grocery store, they really didn't have any vegetables. I usually buy little cans of green beans. I eat green beans almost every day. So I'm going to open up, I got 2 of these big things of green beans, and I'm going to open up one of these and just saute them in the oven. And I may or may not eat them for tonight. I think I might eat my sloppy joes with a potato. I'm not afraid of carbs at all. Bread or potatoes or rice, pasta, anything like that. I have some hamburger buns, but I actually don't really like my sloppy joes on a hamburger bun. I prefer it by itself. So we're going to go ahead and start cooking up this ground turkey. So I have the ground turkey cooking up, and I'm going to use this. This is just like a potato masher, and you don't want to scrape it onto the surface, but if you go like this on the meat, then it helps break it up into smaller pieces, which is what I want, especially because I'm going to be breaking this up into servings. Now, if you don't eat meat, you could totally use lentils or beans. There's a whole variety of things you could do to make sloppy joes. The other thing is, too, I am using a can of sloppy joes, like the pre-made sauce, but you can totally make your own sauce. I know I've made sauce from canned tomato soup, and there's different ways that you can do it depending upon what your preferences are. So I'm just going to let this cook up a little bit, and then I am going to add the vegetables. I add the vegetables simply because I really like peppers and onions. It's going to stretch this meal out, but not add a ton of calories, but it's going to make you feel like you're getting more. And this is just a good way to add fruits, and this is a good way to add vegetables. I'm using fresh because I happen to have it, but you could totally use frozen as well. So I just added the peppers and onions. The meat is just a little bit underdone. I'm going to let that cook for a little bit, and then I'm going to add the sauce on top. And next, I've decided I'm going to make some white rice, so I'm going to use my Power Cooker Express, and I'm going to make some white rice to go below the sloppy joe mix. I put in 2 cups of dried white rice and 4 cups of water. I've got it set to the rice setting. It's just heating up. I've got it on sealed. It's all ready to go. I've got my peppers and onions and my meat cooking up. I'm just going to give it a little stir. And then I'm going to add the sauce to it, and I think it should be pretty good. I just added the sauce and a little bit of water, and then I added some crushed rosemary. I got this from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to give this a good stir, and I'm just going to let this simmer. This is pretty much ready. I mean, you could eat this as is. I'm just going to let it simmer so that all the flavoring gets together, and I'm waiting on the rice to cook. And the green beans are heating up in the oven, and I am going to show you guys those next after I get this all situated. And I got to get my dishes in the dishwasher so that I don't have a huge mess to clean up. But as you can see, that looks pretty good, and it's pretty full with the vegetables. And we're going to let that simmer. Here are my green beans. All I did was I put some I Can't Believe It's Not butter, salt, and some crushed rosemary, and I let them cook in the oven. So then, as you can see, that big big container, that big tin of green beans filled up this whole big. This is like, I think this is a 9x13, and I eat a lot of green beans. I just rinse them really well, and then I saute them either on the stovetop or in the oven. And then this is a whole, like, you've got your vegetables all prepped, and it was from something that was shelf stable. Next, I'm going to show you guys what my plan is. So I'm going to put the meals in these. Now, I did not buy these. Somebody gave these to me. But you can buy containers like this. You can use glass. You can use plastic, whatever your preference is. I actually don't usually use plastic. But because somebody gave them to me and for the purposes of meal prepping, I'm going to use these. And then I can fit the green beans and the rice and the sloppy joes mix. And then I can eat on these for work and for at home for the next few days. And it'll make it really convenient. So if you've been following my channel for a while, or if you haven't, I am on a weight loss journey, but I'm trying to do it sustainably. I'm trying to, of course I wish I could lose it fast, but I'm trying to do it slow so then it just stays off. And I've lost almost 40 pounds, and I've kind of been in a slump, losing the weight, all that kind of stuff. So meal prepping really helps me stay on plan and stay on track, and eating in moderation, which is what I do. No food group is off limits, because if I start limiting food groups, then I binge on those food groups, and I am a recovering binger, so we try to avoid that. Now, this meal is I already calculated calories, so if calories trigger you in any way, you might want to fast forward through this part, but I calculated the calories for this, and it'll be 413 calories for this meal, which is very reasonable. So what I did was I took the ground turkey, and had that, plus the can of sauce, plus the vegetables, and then the rice, and the green beans, and divided it by 7, because I wanted to make 7 meals out of this. So dinner tonight, and then 6 potential lunches or dinners for another time, and it comes out to 413. Now, you could totally lessen that. Just the sloppy joes, like with the vegetables and sauce, is only 193 on its own. The green beans are only 20 calories per half cup. Now I really like rice. It really helps keep me full longer. I have a ton of it, and we're doing the pantry challenge. So I'm trying to lose weight and do the pantry challenge and stay on plan and all that other stuff, and it's a lot. But you also want to be eating stuff that you really like and you really enjoy. And I really enjoy carbs, and I really enjoy staying full for a long time, because that also helps keep you on plan, and that helps you not binge. So you could totally lessen this. If you just wanted to do like a bed of green beans or a bed of asparagus, or however you want to do it. Or again, like I said, if you don't want to use meat, if you want to use lentils or beans or something like that instead, that would also be a good option. You could use, I think brown and white rice are pretty much the same calorie-wise, but you could also use pasta. You could use whatever you have on hand. You could use potatoes. That would be really tasty. I'm kind of limited in my potatoes right now, so I'm rationing them. You could use instant mashed potatoes. Ooh, that would be pretty good too. Instant mashed potatoes. I don't really like instant mashed potatoes, but under something like this would be pretty good. Like I said, I'm not a huge, I like buns, but not really with my sloppy joes, but I have made mashed potatoes before and then put the sloppy joes over top, which is really good. But anyway, just remember, this is really versatile, and this is to help me meal plan, stay on track. Plus, since I don't really enjoy cooking, it makes it a lot, it makes it easier just to make stuff like this ahead of time. And also, if you're on a budget, whether it be because of the virus or you're trying to get out of debt or whatever your situation is, maybe you spend too much money on food anyway. I got the rice sizzling over there. If you have stuff ready to go, you're less likely to stop by McDonald's or whatever your vice is, because you've got dinner in the fridge ready to go. That doesn't mean that you never will, and that doesn't mean you never should, because again, everything in moderation, but it really helps keep you on plan if you're trying to, lose weight or stay on a health journey, or if you're trying to just save money. These are good plans to follow. Here is my sloppy joe simmering. I want it to get good and hot. As you can see, it's bubbling. And then it'll be all ready to go when the rice is done. While the rice is finishing cooking, I prepped my containers. So this one will be for tonight's dinner. And then these are the 6 containers that will be for the next 6 meals. Now, that doesn't mean this is all I'm going to eat. Like I might have one of these for lunch tomorrow, but then maybe I'll have something different for dinner, or maybe I'll have something different for lunch and then this for dinner, or maybe I'll have one for lunch, one for dinner. You just never know. And then also these freeze really well. if something happens or maybe you get sick of it. But if it's not just you, if it's other people, these can go pretty fast. And these are good for school lunches if school was in, or for somebody's work. I know I will take these to work with me. I'll take a couple, so then I have a couple for, for different lunches during the week. And it helps make it pretty convenient. My rice is all ready to go. As you can see, it looks really good. And then I'm going to prep it into the containers and onto my plate. And then I will put my sauce on top. Everything is prepped now. As you guys can see, this is tonight's dinner, and they all are about the same. Each one got 1 cup of rice, except for this one. This one got half a cup of rice. So I'm going to bulk it up either with more rice or more green beans. And then the rest of them are the exact same though. And then I just spread out the sauce as evenly as possible. And it smells really good. And this is a really good way to meal prep. I'm going to let these cool down. And then I will deal with this one later. Like I said, it's not quite half a cup of rice. So those 2 cups of dry rice made 6.5 cups of rice. So rice is a great thing to have on hand. I'm really happy with these results, and I hope that this shows you guys that meal prepping is possible. And if you don't like sloppy joes, or you don't like rice or green beans or whatever, then you don't have to do exactly this, but this would be great with like asparagus and mashed potatoes and some meatloaf. There's a whole variety of stuff that you can do. And again, you can freeze these, and then you have homemade frozen meals as well. That's a good option as well. Or you could freeze the green beans and the sloppy joes mix, and then when you pull it out of the freezer, you can make the rice fresh, what have you. So I hope this inspires you guys. This is a lot of food, so I'm going to go ahead and eat my dinner. But thank you guys for watching, and please consider subscribing to my channel. If you didn't know, I have an Instagram. I post pictures of my hauls and different things on there first, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And until next time, bye.